Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're aiming for a top TOEFL score in 2025, you're in the right place. As someone who's scored 119 out of 120 on the TOEFL test and has helped hundreds of students achieve their target scores, I'm here to give you everything you need to succeed on this test. In this video, I'll break down what's new with the TOEFL format in 2025, share insider tips and strategies to tackle each section effectively, recommend useful prep materials, and also share specific videos on this channel that will help you improve your TOEFL skills. Whether you're just starting out or already deep into your studies, I'll ensure you get the advice you need to focus on the right things. Let's get started. Before we dive into the details, let's talk about why the TOEFL is especially important in 2025. If you're planning to study at a university in the US, Canada, or other English-speaking country, or if you're applying for a visa or looking to expand your career opportunities, your TOEFL score will play a key role in opening those doors. Not to mention, it's a great way to prove to universities or employers that you have the English proficiency they need. In fact, I've seen many of my students land great university placements and promotions after hitting their target TOEFL scores. So, the TOEFL isn't just about passing a test, it's about achieving your personal goals. Just to give you an example, about 60% of my one-on-one students right now are dentists who need to take the TOEFL to prove their English proficiency before they can get a license to practice. Many also need to complete an advanced standing program if they want to pursue a Doctor of Dental Surgery or Doctor of Dental Medicine degree in the US. The thing is, a lot of them struggle with the test, taking it 5, 6, or even more than 10 times before they finally achieve the score they need. Is it because their English level is low? Not at all. It's because they don't always know how to approach the test or its sections effectively to get the score they need. So today, we'll make sure you don't waste your time on irrelevant information and only focus on the key strategies that will help you get your dream TOEFL score in the fastest time possible. What's new with the TOEFL test in 2025? Let's begin by talking about the format of the TOEFL test in 2025. You might have heard that some changes were made to the test in 2023, making it shorter and, in a way, even more manageable. The same format remains in 2025. The test is now available in two formats: the traditional test center version and the home edition. This is great for flexibility. The content is identical, so whether you take the test in a test center or at home, you're going to get the same questions, the same format, and the same scoring. The majority of my students are now choosing the home edition because it's more convenient. You don't need to leave the comfort of your apartment, and you also don't need to deal with the noise other students make. However, some still have to take the test at the test center, and there is nothing dramatically wrong with that. For some, it's even easier because you have an opportunity to focus and are not afraid that your family members will burst into your room in the middle of the test. If you want more details about the two formats and what to expect on test day, feel free to watch this video where I talk about these formats in more detail and give you final day tips for both of them. As for the format of the test itself, we still have 4 main sections: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Let's discuss each of them. Reading section. You'll have 2 long passages, each about 700 words long, and there will be 10 questions after each passage. You'll have 35 minutes for the whole section, which gives you about 17 minutes for each text. Students who have recently taken the test have told me that the paragraphs have become a bit longer than they used to be, so you should be ready to navigate through a lot of text to find the right answers. This is why you should always carefully choose your prep materials. For example, if you practice with reading passages that only have short paragraphs, you might feel a bit disoriented and uncomfortable on test day. I think the Wakeshoe platform is a great choice if you're looking for texts with longer paragraphs. Listening section. The listening section has stayed pretty much the same in terms of the types of audio. You'll listen to 3 academic lectures and 2 conversations, and you'll have 36 minutes to complete this section. It's all about staying alert to catch both main ideas and details that support them. and making sure that your note-taking doesn't distract you from listening. Speaking section. One of the most difficult sections of the test is still the speaking section. It has 4 tasks, and they're the most challenging because you'll have to answer them in 45 or 60 seconds. You need to deliver clear, organized responses, and each task gives you the opportunity to show off your fluency, vocabulary, and grammar skills. The first task asks you to answer a simple question in 45 seconds, with 15 seconds to prepare. For example, you'll be asked, do you prefer to study online or in a traditional classroom? Then you have 15 seconds to prepare and 45 seconds to speak. Pause the video now and give me an answer in the comments below. We'll see how ready you are. In the second and third tasks, you'll need to read a text, listen to a conversation or a lecture, and then summarize both in your own words. Finally, question 4 is about summarizing an academic lecture. I've filmed a couple of videos where I do a full speaking test on this channel, so feel free to check them out. You can do the speaking test together with me. First, try answering on your own, and then listen to my response and compare it to your answer. Finally, the writing section consists of 2 tasks. One is the integrated task, where you'll read a passage, then listen to a lecture that contradicts it, and then summarize the information from both. The second task is the writing for an academic discussion essay. In this part of the test, you'll be expressing your opinion and justifying it, so be sure to practice making strong arguments and supporting them with evidence. 5 tips for success in each section. Now that you know about the test format, let's break down the best tips for excelling in each section of the TOEFL. These are the little things that will make all the difference in getting that 100+ score. Reading section tips. Tip 1. Don't read the text first. Instead, go immediately to the questions and start answering them. The problem that most students have is that they try to get an extremely deep understanding of the text, which is not necessary. Instead, you should read the question, identify its type, and then use the strategy that works for this particular question type. To get the best result on the day of the test, you should also be able to adjust your strategy quickly. This is something we teach you in our TOEFL prep course. After we study all the tips and strategies, we analyze reading practice tests, where I show you in detail how you should approach each question. I also do a similar thing in my online Zoom classes, especially with students who are struggling with their reading section. My focus is to change your reasoning and to teach you how to analyze the text and extract the correct answers quickly and efficiently. The problem that many students have is that they don't know how to work with the text, what clues to look for, and how to eliminate incorrect answers. So if you can get the score you want on the reading section, sign up for the course by clicking the link below. And I'll see you in the first lesson. Tip 2. Focus on the details. Sometimes the questions focus on very specific details, like names, dates, or numbers. Pay attention to these as you read. They often show up in the questions. For example, the question could be about what happened in the first half of the 19th century. That is, you should find the part of the paragraph which mentions that particular period. If the part of the paragraph is about the 1870s, you don't need to read it because this is the second part of the 19th century, not the first. Just recently, I was analyzing a text with one of my students, and the question was about substantial differences in temperature. She was confused by many details in the paragraph, but I told her that she only had to find the substantial or most important differences. In fact, she had to read only one sentence from the whole paragraph that talked about the maximum differences. This strategy will save her a lot of time. So always read the questions carefully. Tip 3. Use the process of elimination. If you're stuck on a question, don't waste too much time on it. Instead, try eliminating the obviously wrong answers. Even if you are not 100% sure, narrowing down the choices increases your chance of picking the right one. For example, if one of the answers is the importance of social media, but the passage never mentions social media, you can confidently eliminate that choice. On the TOEFL, they'll always give you 2 answer options that are clearly incorrect. You should eliminate them and choose between the remaining 2. Tip 4. Practice time management. You only have about 20 minutes per passage, so you need to manage your time wisely. Don't spend too long on any one question. If you're unsure about an answer, make your best guess and move on. You can always come back to it if you have extra time. You can practice the reading and listening sections on the KMF website. Tip 5. Focus on ideas, not words. Since I've analyzed hundreds of texts with my students, I pretty much know every single type of mistake they can make. One of the most common ones is focusing too much on the words rather than their meanings. Because of this, whenever they see words they don't understand or just a lot of academic vocabulary, they get confused and don't know where to start. Instead, try to simplify what you read, focusing on the ideas and pictures inside your head, rather than just the words. Doing this will help you avoid being overwhelmed by academic vocabulary and will help you understand difficult texts. Listening section tips. 1. Take effective notes. During the listening section, you won't have time to go back and listen again, so taking notes is essential. Write down key ideas, facts, and opinions as you hear them. Don't try to write down everything. Just focus on the main points and supporting details. I always suggest you analyze your notes after you finish listening. Check if they helped you answer the questions or were just a distraction. Then adjust them if necessary. 2. Identify transitions. Listen for transition words like however, besides, and on the other hand. These signals help you understand when a new idea is being introduced, which is often what the questions will focus on. 3. Practice active listening. Don't just passively listen to the audio. Really engage with it. As you listen, think about how the ideas connect and what the main argument is. This helps when answering inference-based questions. 4. Review listening transcripts. Get into the habit of listening again to the same recording while reading the transcript at the same time. This will boost your listening skills and ensure you can adjust your notes better. You can practice that on the Daily Dictation website. The more you expose yourself to these types of lectures, the better you'll be at understanding them on the test. 5. Stay calm if you miss something. It's easy to panic if you miss a word or idea, but don't let it throw you off. Move forward and focus on the next part. You'll still have plenty of opportunities to answer questions correctly. Speaking section tips. Tip 1. Speak clearly and confidently. Don't stress about having a perfect accent. Just focus on speaking clearly and confidently. The examiners care more about whether you can communicate effectively, not whether you sound like a native speaker. I've seen many students get so caught up in how they sound that they forget everything else. A great exercise to build your confidence is to practice speaking with a pen in your mouth. Do it for just 3 to 5 minutes a day, and you'll notice significant improvement in your enunciation. 2. Give one reason in question 1. If you're not a fast speaker, stick to just one reason, but develop it well. Ask yourself, how can I prove my point? Then give a detailed example. This will lower your stress because you won't have to come up with 2 reasons in just 15 seconds. Plus, it lets you focus on fluency instead of jumping between topics. Tip 3. Be concise and organized. You don't have much time to explain your answers, so keep them clear and well-structured. This is where templates can make a big difference. We have high-scoring templates in our course, so check them out before the test date. With a solid structure, you can fit more details into your 45 or 60-second responses. Quick tip: practice answering questions without a time limit first. Once you're comfortable, try answering within the time limit. And repeat until you can consistently produce a perfect answer. Tip 4. Use varied vocabulary and grammar. Avoid repeating the same words and phrases. Instead, use a variety of vocabulary and grammar to show off your skills. For example, instead of saying, "I like studying with others," you could say, "I find group study sessions to be incredibly beneficial," or "I really enjoy studying in a group." But remember, focus on what you're saying, not just the fancy words you use. Otherwise, you might lose fluency. Tip 5. Record yourself. Recording your responses is a game changer. Listening back lets you spot areas to improve, like grammar, vocabulary, or fluency. But don't listen to your recordings right away. Give it some time, then come back to them as if you are an examiner, evaluating someone else's response. Look for mistakes, analyze the structure, and treat it as if it's not your own answer. This will help you be more objective and understand the format better. If you're looking for a structured approach, join our TOEFL course. It provides detailed tips, strategies, and in-depth analysis of every section of the test. Plus, we complete practice tests together, giving you real-time feedback. I believe this course is the best option for those who need to prepare quickly and don't want to spend time searching for additional resources. We'll work on all the sections together and provide high-scoring templates for the speaking and writing sections, therefore helping you to reduce stress and boost your confidence on test day. Click the link below and start your journey towards achieving your dream score. Finally, it's time for the writing section tips. Tip 1. Plan your essays. For both writing tasks, it's crucial to take a few minutes to organize your thoughts before you start writing. Create an outline with your main points and supporting details. This will make it easier to write a cohesive and well-structured essay. For the writing for an academic discussion task, make sure you clearly state your opinion and then provide well-supported arguments. This is where templates come in handy. In the integrated essay, a template makes up a large part of your answer. So even if your level isn't super high, you can still score well. Tip 2. Stay focused on the question. Especially for the writing for an academic discussion task, make sure your essay directly answers the question. Don't wander off topic or add irrelevant information. Keep your arguments clear and back them up with examples. Tip 3. Learn to spot errors in your essays. Just like with the speaking section, you should be able to catch your mistakes. Always leave a few minutes at the end to read through your essay and check for grammar, spelling, or punctuation errors. This can make a huge difference to your score, as minor mistakes can affect your overall clarity and coherence. Tip 4. Use academic vocabulary. You don't need to fill your answers with too many academic words, but try to include 2 to 3 formal or academic sounding phrases. Again, you don't need to overcomplicate things, but using words like evidence, however, and consequently can help your writing stand out. Tip 5. Revise 3 key grammar topics. 90% of my students make the same mistakes in their essays, related to 3 main areas: articles, tenses, and punctuation. We have a separate lesson in the course that focuses on all of them. But if you're preparing on your own, spend time revising these 3 topics. First, do plenty of exercises to check for mistakes in these areas. Then review the theory, and finally look for these errors in your essays. This will make a huge difference. Check out these videos for more tips. Now that we've covered some key strategies, I highly recommend checking out some specific videos on the channel that dive deeper into these tips. If you want more strategies for tackling reading passages, these videos will help. We have tips and tricks for each section, as well as practice tests. If you're looking to improve your writing, these 2 videos break down exactly how to approach it to get a higher score. Also, feel free to watch the video about linking words to use in the writing section. For listening practice, check out these tips and a few practice tests where we analyze each answer one by one. How to prepare for TOEFL in 2025. Finally, let's get into the TOEFL preparation guide. If you're serious about getting that 100+ score, you'll need a study plan. The first thing to do is to start with a free ETS practice test. It'll give you a solid idea of how you're doing, so you know what areas to focus on. After that, dive into the sections that challenge you the most. Whether it's reading comprehension or speaking fluency, make sure to spend extra time practicing those areas. I suggest spending at least a few days in each section. If your time is very limited, focus only on the most challenging sections. However, it's better to do at least a few practice tests before the final day. Drill each section, then take another mock test. Check your performance, then come back and drill the challenging sections again. Do another mock test. To practice, you can use our TOEFL app. In the app, you can take mock tests, drill each section of the test, and focus on specific reading question types. We added this feature based on my request because so many students really needed it. The thing is, if you have problems with a certain question type, you need to practice it repeatedly until you improve. So you don't have to waste time doing the whole reading section. You can focus only on the question type you're struggling with. Once you feel more confident, move on to another question type or start doing complete reading tests. There is also a vocabulary section, which I find quite helpful. You can revise campus, idiomatic, advanced, and academic vocabulary. If you're an app fan, feel free to check it out and let me know what you think. Final thoughts. Remember, every test is a chance to show what you know. Be prepared, practice regularly, and stay confident in your skills. When test day comes, take a deep breath, stay calm, and remember, you're more ready than you think. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more TOEFL tips. Let me know in the comments what topics you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching and good luck with your prep. You've got this.